Welcome back on this Thursday morning. You're watching News Breakfast. Emergency services are being stretched in 2 states this morning as flash flooding inundates homes in North Queensland while bushfires continue to threaten properties in Tasmania. Several people had to be rescued from flooded homes at Bluewater north of Townsville, and the Weather Bureau says heavy rainfall is likely to cause further flash flooding.
Meanwhile, a dozen emergency warnings have been issued for Tasmania's Huon Valley and Central Plateau as fires burn out of control. Temperatures have dropped across the state, but authorities fear a wind change could expose new areas to that massive fire front.
Let's get some more from our reporters on the ground. We've got Alison Horn in the flood-affected town of Bluewater, north of Townsville, and Rihanna Whitson from Huonville in Tasmania's southwest. Alison, firstly to you, is the worst of this system gone?
Well, it appears like the direct threat may be over for the moment, Lisa. We did see yesterday about 350 millimetres of rain dropped on this area in the space of about 3 or 4 hours. So it was an incredibly intense system that passed over. But as you can see, the rain is not letting up, and that really provides an ongoing threat here. Just how much will continue to fall, and the Weather Bureau is predicting that this will stay like this at least for another 2 or 3 days. But I just wanted to give you a bit of an idea of some of the impact that the rain has had out here at Bluewater. We're about half an hour north of Townsville. It's a semi-rural area, and the banks of the river here burst yesterday. And this is one of the properties behind me that was in the firing line of that flood as it came through. And you can probably see that there's a car that has been picked up and tossed against some pylons at the front of this house. It's now
and it looks like we've
stuck, and that gives you...
Sorry, Alison, we thought we'd lost you there for a second. We've got you back. Please keep going, because those pictures showing us that car pushed up against in the garage really gives you an idea of the kind of pressure of the water. So keep talking us through it. It is amazing.
Yeah, sorry, Lisa. It's quite difficult with the rain sometimes. We are dropping in and out of communication here, and that's one of the problems that people here are facing as well. They don't have power, they don't have a lot of communication channels. But as you were saying, this car here has been picked up by flood, tossed against these pylons, sort of perched there precariously at this 45-degree angle now, and it gives you a bit of an idea of how strong those floodwaters were as they came yesterday. And as you look further around the property, down towards the bottom end where the riverbank is, you can see that there is debris that has been brought up from that river system as it came through yesterday, and it has washed through the entire first floor of this property. So the residents here aren't home at the moment. You can imagine when they do return home, this will be an incredibly distressing situation.
Alison, how many people have had to be evacuated, or are they able to be moved back into their homes now? What's going on with that?
So yesterday, swiftwater rescue crews visited about 50 to 60 properties along this bank line. And we know that there were a number of people who had to be rescued out of their homes because the floodwaters rose so quickly. There was no other way for them to escape. And as I just mentioned to you, it seems that several of them have not returned home, or maybe briefly returned home last night and saw the damage, and now believe that they have to wait until the light of day to try and start the cleanup. But that is going to be incredibly difficult given the weather that we are facing at the moment.
And those flash floods, well, clearly by their very name, come through quickly, but the ground is so sodden, that must be worrying authorities as well.
Absolutely, and it's not just here in Bluewater. It's quite a wide-ranging area that authorities are concerned about over the north. Further, about an hour north of here is Ingham, which there are concerns for the river system around there. And then further south of here, about an hour and a half so south, there is the town of Guru. And we have heard from authorities that there have had to be several rescues there overnight as well. Some French tourists became trapped in a car there, and we know that the Bruce Highway is cut in that area. So, these authorities here are quite stretched in that it's not just this one area that they have to think about. It's several hundred kilometres where this rain is falling.
Alison Horn, to you and your crew, thanks for persevering with the situation.
Indeed, let's go down south.